the one I need to speak to. I contacted his office, and the woman that answered the phone said, the best way to contact him is via email. And I said, yeah, I understand that. I saw that on his website, but it said if you're not from his district, he won't reply or even read, your email. So I said I figured I'd call, and I explained the situation. And she said, well, let me give you a call back. And roughly about 20 minutes later, I received a call then from Congressman Schrader's office. And myself and his assistant, we spoke, I believe it was 43 minutes about the whole situation. Well, I basically explained everything that I had just told you, and how, it felt to me that I was being left out there, just to hang out to dry. I mean, it was just a weird situation, and everything was pretty much about that side of it. They were very much. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Now I just said it. Kurt Schrader's office. His office was very, very sympathetic, very, very concerned about the safety of everybody there. Out of all of them, they seem to most want a peaceful resolution, and they took an interest in that, in the fact that I may be able to, be a go-between. I have no education in that. I've never been a negotiator, but having known, both sides, it was something that I could relate to. I mean, I'm the type. I'm kind of neutral in everything. I call BS when I see BS, and it doesn't matter what side really. That's just the way it is. It's not a popular way to go, but that's just who I am. And I think they understood that, and felt, well, maybe this could work. Maybe he could relate to him, because I'm a gold miner also. I'm sympathetic towards ranchers, loggers. We all have to stick together. We're all getting screwed one way or another by some agency, some form of government. And they got me in contact with the governor's office, and I was told by them that the governor was actually told by the federal government to not get involved out of fear that she would make things worse. And from my point, what I got from her and her office was she was more mad at the FBI than the actual occupiers. She, believes it should have been stopped right away. There would have been no violence. At least that's how it was told to me. And things could have been resolved, or at least over. I don't know if they'd be resolved. I'm not sure that would have opened up lines of communication, but one can hope. So I know she was very upset with the federal government, with the FBI, and she finally spoke out, which got portrayed by a lot, or most, that she wanted the FBI to do a raid. I can't say that I'm a fan of Governor Brown or really know much about her, but my impression was that's not what she was looking for. I think she was more concerned about the spectacle it was putting on, and how it made Oregon as a whole look. Like I said, it was just a mess, and I think she recognized that. Everything I was told, her office, they were willing to speak. They were willing to, work something out. I had even gotten as far as them agreeing to something like get 3 people, on a board. Have a member, just a citizen of Harney County, somebody representing the federal side, and somebody representing the Paiutes. Get a panel like that. Let them kind of handle things. Then if anything went to a vote, you're always going to have a vote one way or another. There's going to be no deadlocks with 3 people. And I don't know if that's something Ammon would have agreed to or not, but in my eyes, it was a step. The government was willing to try to do something, or so they said. It was just, from my position, it was anything that can happen, any bit of communication was a step in the right direction.
Rather unfortunate, I have his personal phone number. Well, I don't have it now. They have his, I wish I'd known. I have his personal phone number. I could have facilitated that. Oh, and by the way, people in the chat room go, shut up, let him talk. I'm like, I'm letting the guy breathe occasionally. I mean,
yeah, I do that once in a while.
Yeah, this is a big story, and we just want to make sure we get all the fine details and fine points too, because people, if I don't, people are going to rip this to shreds, and you know it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And it's something I wish I wasn't involved in.
right. All right, let's.
Going there was a mistake, especially in hindsight. Knowing what happened, and there's always that. What if I tried this a little harder, approach this differently? And it's unfortunate that somebody had to lose their life. I've
Right.
never met Lavoy, but I heard he was a great guy.
Yeah, I was actually on the phone with him just moments before they got pulled over. In fact, he hung up. I'd been talking to Ryan Payne, and he hung up and said, "We got," he said, "We got," and that was it. And the phone call was over, and I couldn't get back a hold of him. And little did I know until like hours later, something went down. But
And
it,
and I
it
know a lot of people will tear me apart for this, but I mean, I do give some credit to the FBI. I mean, I was one of the people that thought it's going to be a Ruby Ridge or Waco, and the fact that they didn't mow everybody down was I was glad to see that. It was reassuring in a way, and it gives you that little bit of hope that, well, maybe they didn't want all this, but with that much attention, and that's something too that I think people haven't thought about with the governor getting involved and speaking up. It brought a lot more attention to the situation, and in my mind, anyways, the more attention that was brought to it, the less chance there was going to be a massacre, by the federal government.
well, yeah, now
More eyes, they weren't going to act out.
exactly, and all the media's gone home. It's like what do you think about the four that are left up at the? Wait, we haven't even got through the whole story. Okay, so were you getting impeded in some way from facilitating a conversation between the governor and Eamon Bundy and the guys at the refuge? Were you getting stonewalled in some way?
I was kind of shut down by members of the Pacific Patriot Network, and I was told that that message never got through to Ammon.
We'll leave it. We'll leave
Yeah, I don't.
that. We'll leave that at that. We don't want to until we can get some confirmations on some of that stuff. We just don't
Yeah,
want to
absolutely.
don't want to be poking poking that dog. But
No, especially, I mean, everyone still has a job to do there, and still have
right,
4 people in there that need to come out safely.
right. So let's take us on up into the next point. Before you left, after Lavoy, after the supposed, as they say, traffic stop and Lavoy getting killed, and then the week afterwards, as the FBI narrative has been absolutely destroyed by the internet and YouTube and everybody's analysis of all this. I mean, have you had any more contact with these people you were working with after that?
No, I have not. With Joint Terrorism Task Force, very, very little. Um, they weren't on the best of terms. There was a little bit of back and forth, and I haven't had contact in several days now.
Right. All right. So I guess we'll just move in. We were discussing this a little bit earlier. I mean, yesterday we got an alert that they were gearing back up at the hospital, and they brought those 7 doctors back in that were there the night. That everybody warned about. I honestly, I got to say, I thought it was all yet another cry wolf because
I did too.
we have heard so many cry wolf that people stop. The cry wolf story is very, very obvious. It's like when everybody's crying wolf, people stop paying attention.
Right. And
So
that was, I didn't understand with one of those was the no-fly zone,
right,
on another broadcast, and he said, "Hey, check it out. Go online, check it out at the FAA," and I did, and I said,
right,
"I don't see anything," and I didn't understand it, it could have been an honest mistake, but
right.
you
And
know,
there's just there is, and on purpose there is so much disinfo that's always
yeah, and
in
you
the
got to
works.
expect that too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a game of chess, basically.
Hey, well, it's a game of chess, and then you got a lot of. I've even been guilty of it myself from time to time. There's a lot of competition out there for views,